Hi friends, it's Miss Catherine and I'm back again for another peanut lesson. Time is flying by. I feel like we just went through lesson 1 together, but today is our 5th time together and we're going to talk all about yummy fruits and vegetables and where they come from, because we eat them and they're really tasty, but where does it all start at? Where do they grow? Some of you might have a garden in your backyard or know where some of the fruits and vegetables might come from, so you plant that seed and you watch it all summer or all season and you enjoy it and make yummy treats and food out of it. But we're going to spend some time today talking about where that food comes from. So as you can see right here, the name of the activity today is Farm to Pizza. So again, we're going to talk all about fruits and all about vegetables. So let's put that thinking cap back on from lesson 1 when we talked about all the 5 food groups on the My Plate. Remember, we have fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and protein. So majority of our conversation today is going to be focusing on fruits and vegetables. So keep that in mind as we chat and carry on with this lesson today. So remembering, peanut stands for physical education and nutrition. We've spent a lot of conversation and a lot of time talking about that. I want you to focus today just on the NUT, which is nutrition. So those are all the yummy foods that we put in our mouth and into our bellies to help us grow and stay strong. So PE is physical education, which we're going to do a little bit of moving later, but I want you to keep your thinking cap on and talk just for a little while about the NUT, which is nutrition. So before we go any further on to this lesson, I want to talk about where it all begins. Again, some of you might grow some fruits and vegetables in your backyard or in the neighborhood park or anywhere around where you live. And it might start with the seed, right? Let's start with that. So you could go to the store and buy a little pouch of seeds depending on what it is that you want to grow. So you might take those seeds and dig a little hole and put those seeds under the dirt, right? So the dirt is where we're going to start with the growing process. So when you look over here, not the picture just yet, but look at all of the different parts of the plant. So I just mentioned we are going to start with the seed, and then there are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruit. So after you plant those seeds, you're going to do what? I want you to think about what you might do after you put those seeds under the soil and push it all down and get a nice little space there for the fruit or vegetable to grow. What do we need? I'll give you a hint. You might drink some of this as well. So the plant is going to need this, or the seeds are going to need this to grow, but if you're saying water, you are correct, okay? We need water. So we're gonna put a little bit of water over that soil and over those seeds for that to grow. Something else that I wanna mention is really important along with water for the seed to grow is sunlight. We need a lot of sunlight in order to make sure that that seed is really hydrated and getting enough sunshine to grow. So, after we are planting that seed, we might eventually, over time, see a root develop underground. And that's actually in this picture right here. So as that seed gets the water and sunshine that it needs, it's going to web underground and create a root. Eventually, you might see it start to peek through on top of that soil once the roots have grown underground. So you might not be able to see those roots, but if you're patient and you wait long enough, you'll be able to see the seeds kind of sprout above ground. So now that we've talked about the seeds and the root, you might see a stem, which is next, peeking out. As you continue to give that stem sunshine and water, it's eventually going to sprout into leaves, maybe little flower buds on the edges of each leaf, and then fruit is going to grow. Okay? So if you ever get confused, because it's a lot of words, we again have the seeds, roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruit. You're gonna reference this picture. So if you ever have any questions, you can see in this picture of this slide how it kind of goes over time and how it grows. So just keep on watering and you will eventually see all of these little things sprout, and then eventually that fruit or vegetable that you've planted will eventually start showing up. It's a lot of information, but we're gonna go through some of the different fruits and vegetables that you might plant or you might try, and we're gonna talk about what part of this plant it is growing from, okay? All right, moving on to the next slide. Now that we understand all the different parts of the plant, we're gonna go through some vegetables to see where they grow. This might look really familiar to you because it is an onion. Super yummy. You can put it in a lot of different foods for flavor and a little bit of crunch, but we're going to talk about what part of the plant, which was in this slide, what part of the plant the onion grows on. Okay? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, but I want to give you a hint and let you know that this is something that you might not see growing at the beginning. I'll give you another hint. A carrot is in the same family as the onion for how it grows. If you guessed roots, you are right. So a carrot, as well as this onion, grows underground. So it's going to grow under the surface after you've planted and dug those seeds into the soil. It's a rooted vegetable. Okay? So if that's what you guessed, you're on a roll. Nice job. Keep up the great work. This next one is, what do you think? What does this look like? Really, really yummy. Looks like a tree. You guessed vegetable. You are correct. And the vegetable is in the vegetable food group. I just gave it away. But when we think about all the 5 food groups, the broccoli is in the vegetable food group. All right, putting our thinking caps back on and looking at this vegetable, where would you say, going back to this picture, where would you say the broccoli grows off of? What part of the plant would the broccoli be from? If you guessed the flower part of the plant, you are correct. So you can see all the flowers sprouting off of the stem in this photo, and that's where the broccoli would grow. So it starts as a flower. As it grows and blooms, you will start to see the stem and the bulbs of the broccoli sprout. So you guessed flower, you are on a roll. Let me bounce back past the onions, past the broccoli. The next one is another green vegetable. What can you say this one is? Celery. Nice job. If that's what you were sharing, celery is right here to my right. What part of the plant is the celery from? I'll give you a second to think about it, but think about the long, crunchy part that you might snap off and eat when you're enjoying this celery. Thinking back to the parts of the plant picture might be a little helpful. Seeds, roots, stems, leaves, flowers, or fruit. What do you think it is? If you guessed stem, you are correct. Nice job and way to stay on task. The celery is part of the stem of the plant. So there are some leaves and some sprouts at the edge of the celery, but the celery stick grows from the stem of the plant. Okay? Last one. Actually, it's not the last one. Second to last one. This looks like a yummy green spinach smoothie. So let's see here. We think about maybe spinach or lettuce or arugula or kale. All those leafy green vegetables are in the same family, but this here is a picture of spinach. What part of the plant would you say spinach is? This one might be a little more obvious than the other ones because the spinach is the leaf part of the plant. So thinking back to the picture from a few slides ago and looking at the parts of the plant, the spinach will grow off of the leaf, or it grows off of the stem as a leaf as it flourishes and gets all the water and sunshine that it needs for us to enjoy in a salad or a smoothie. Really, really yummy. All right, next one is a tomato. Those look so yummy and pretty. You can see sometimes we eat just the smaller tomatoes or a bigger tomato, but what we might not notice is that they come off of like a stem or like a vine. We will pull the little top nub off of the tomato and cut it and enjoy it, but you can see here in this photo what it might look like before you tear it all apart and you eat the tomato itself. Also, some friends might think that a tomato is a fruit. Some friends might think it's a vegetable. So this is a very tricky one when we think about what food group it might go in. But I want you to know that while we talk about tomatoes during the peanut program and while we're together, we are going to categorize a tomato as a vegetable. So keep that in mind. But also while you're thinking, I want you to share what part of the plant you think this tomato is from. I'll give you one more second. If you guessed the fruit part of the plant, you are correct. So let me go back real quick and I can show you the picture of the parts of the plant. Oops, I went too far. There we go. It is the fruit. So it's going to grow off of the stem and the flower when you look at this plant growing. And when we look at it and you see it grow, it's going to hang off one of the stems as it flourishes and it changes colors. So if some of you maybe have some tomatoes growing in your backyard, they might start really small and be like a green color. And as they receive all that sunshine and water we talked about, it's going to change its colors to maybe like a yellowy color or an orange color. And then you can pull them and enjoy them when they get a very pretty red color, like in this photo. There you go. Also keep in mind that skin as it grows is protecting the seed, which you might see when you cut it open and enjoy it after it's been ready to be picked. And it's really, really pretty and red like this one here. All right, last one. I know I said the other was the last, but I just remembered we have one here to my right that I didn't remember. So it is a bean. It looks like a picture of mixed beans. So there's black beans, kidney beans, black-eyed peas, which are beans as well. But these are a mix of beans, and I want you to tell me what part of the plant you think the beans would grow on. They're really, really small. So keep that in mind when you're trying to think of what part of the plant that it might be from. If you guessed the seed part of the plant, you are correct. So it's going to grow as you plant that seed. It's going to be really, really small, and as it grows, it's going to get a little bit bigger, and there's going to be like a skin or a shell around the seed as it grows and gets all that water and sunlight that it needs as a protectant for the seed, kind of like the tomato. But this is from the seed part of the plant. These are really, really yummy in like salsa. Sometimes I throw a can of beans in some salsa, or if you make like a black bean soup, really, really yummy. You can do a lot with beans. I'm sure you know of some other times that you have had beans as well. They're really, really good for you, and they help you grow and stay strong. All right, so here we are. Let's review. We have all of these different vegetables and fruit around this slide. So we have the broccoli, tomatoes, peas that are seeds as well in the pod. We have onions, which we've talked about. We have strawberries, which is the flower part of the plant. I had to think about that one. Up top, we have cabbage and asparagus. And then lastly, it looks like those are carrots, which we've also talked about being in the same family as onions, which is a rooted vegetable. So you can't see them grow because they're growing and they're getting really yummy and tasty underground, which is why you might see carrots looking kind of dirty. Remember, we always want to make sure we're cleaning all those fruits and vegetables before we eat them and enjoy them. Okay? All right, moving on to the next slide. We've spent a lot of time talking about the NUT part of peanut, which we said is the nutrition portion. But now we are going to get our wiggles out and stand up and do a little moving just for the PE part, which is physical education in peanut. So this part is called Let's Move. So we are going to play a game called Hoppin' for Fruits and Vegetables. So I am going to name off some different fruits or vegetables, and you have to think about what food group you think that food is, either a fruit or a vegetable. And if you are correct and we get through each fruit and vegetable, there's going to be a little exercise or a stretch or a movement for each food group that we go through. Again, these are going to be fruits or vegetables. So let's make sure we push the chair to the side. We give ourselves enough room to kind of wiggle around. Most of these movements are going to be done in place, so you don't need to leave the space that we're in right now. I want to make sure we're all being super safe with everything around us. So let's stand up, stay in front of your screen, and we're going to get going. So the first food I am going to ask you about, whether it's a fruit or a vegetable, is watermelon. What food group do you think watermelon is? Fruit or vegetable? This is a really yummy one in the summer. I love it because it's so juicy. If you guessed fruits, you are correct. Nice job. So our first exercise is going to be our little torso twist. We're going to be doing it again in place so you don't have to move around. Let's just stick our arms to our sides and we're going to do some twists for 10 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. All right, next one is broccoli. We talked about this one earlier when we were chatting about the parts of the plant. So the picture of the broccoli did come up. What food group would you say that is? Fruits or vegetables? If you guessed vegetables, you are on a roll. Nice job. So this exercise is going to be calf raises. So we're just going to go up on our tippy toes and back down on the ground. Our feet are in place. We're just stretching their legs out and the bottom part of our legs, and we're going to do 10 of these for broccoli being a vegetable. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. All right, let's go with one more. Is a apple a fruit or a vegetable? I love me some apples. I love the green. The green are really, really yummy. They're kind of sour, but I love it. So, it is a fruit. You got it. Nice job. Since we are doing another fruit, let's say we will do touching our toes for 10 seconds. I might kind of disappear because I'm going to touch my toes with you. So fingers together. Let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, that feels so good. All right. So next, we are going to try a healthy snack. It's healthy snack time, so I want to share with you the food that I'm thinking of, and I plan on putting in my dinner tonight. So I'm going to give you some hints, and after you guess it, we're going to go to the next slide, and we could see if you are right or not. Are we ready? All right, so this is a vegetable. It is a green vegetable. It's really small and round. It is the seed part of the plant, if that helps you think about what it could be. You can buy these in a bag at the grocery store in the frozen aisle. You can buy them in a can, or you could buy them fresh. And then of course, like what we talked about today, you could grow these in your backyard if you wanted to buy the seeds for it and watch it flourish. Again, it's green. I'll go to the next one. Let's see. If you guessed peas, you are correct. Such a pretty green. Raise your hand if you like peas. I love peas. I love them so much. I think I might make some tonight, put it in my pasta as a vegetable, a green vegetable. I'll probably buy some canned peas. So that is my snack for today. But I want to give you a little bit of healthy homework. Put your thinking caps on. I want you to think about the different foods that you're eating today. And I want you to ask around, maybe some friends or family or adults at home, what part of the plant is that they're eating. And I also want you to think about some of the foods that you've been eating today. What part of the plant will you be eating? Okay? Be sure to share all these fun facts with everyone special. And I look forward to seeing you again shortly for our 6th lesson together. Have a great day and remember to stay healthy and drink a lot of water. Bye, everyone.